In the box in front of me, I've got the Char-Griller Premium Flat Iron Barbecue. Today, I'm gonna set it up, season it, talk a little bit about the specs and features, and then of course, put it to the test and see what it's like. Now, all my life, I have owned barbecues.
That's one fine looking barbecue pit. Why doesn't mine look like that? Ah!
So when it came time to buying a new one, I spent quite a bit of time looking at them in store, reading reviews, and thinking about what I really wanted in a barbecue. And I really wanted a large, thick, flat plate, and I wanted a quality barbecue. And this is what I ended up with. My first impression before even opening the box is of quality. Now, they sent 2 guys to drop this off and unload it out of the truck, and that's because it's bloody heavy. This box weighs nearly 80 kilos. So for me, that's a good sign already. All right, let's open this up and see what's in the box. That looks like the base that'll hold the gas bottle. Far out, that's heavy. So that was just the grill part. All right, time to assemble this thing. Let's see how long it's gonna take. Time to cut to a build montage.
It's hotter than the blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun, looking for a good time, gotta live it up. Leave behind the city, hop inside my truck. No, we don't give up.
All right, well, that took about an hour and a half to assemble. There were lots of steps in the instruction manual. The booklet was pretty good though, kind of just like putting together a big Meccano set. A couple of tools needed, a Phillips head screwdriver, 2 11mm spanners, and I used a 4mm Allen key as well, just to tighten up the hooks that the utensils hang on, although you could just do those finger tight and that would be fine. Now, you could assemble it all on your own, but it was helpful to have a second person to put the actual grill top on and put that into place, because that is quite heavy, but you could definitely do that yourself. So first thoughts are, this thing is massive, fully extended out. It's just over 1.6 meters across, although the sides do fold down, which make it a bit narrower, or you could take them off as well. In terms of quality, the griddle, as I mentioned, really heavy, really thick steel. It looks pretty good. The doors on the front, they also look good. It's got casters that feel like quite good quality, and it's good that it's on those because this whole unit assembled is really heavy. So if you want to move it around, that's going to be really good. The lid also feels really heavy and sturdy, like good quality. In saying that though, the handle, before I attached that, it felt really thin, cheap and light, like a little bit flimsy. Once it's attached, it feels okay, but I definitely think the quality is probably lacking a little bit in the handle there. And the sheet metal on it is also just thin pressed metal, nothing special there, but probably pretty comparable to any barbecue. The griddle plate itself is massive, definitely plenty of space there for whatever you're cooking and for however many people. There is that little cutout there in the front right for the grease trap, but I don't think you're going to notice that. And I do actually quite like the way that grease trap is sitting with a cup there. It looks really easy to be able to pull that out and drain the grease, and also just clean the barbecue and drain anything down into that. There's a few nice features on it. It's got a magnetic strip for hanging utensils on one side. It's got a few little hooks for more utensils on the other side, a spice rack tray along the front. There's a paper towel holder. Overall, I think it looks really good with the matte black and the finish on it, the red accents. The cabinet down there hides the gas bottle. There's a little nook to put the gas bottle and slide it into and lock it in place. In saying that, the old gas bottle that I have doesn't actually fit straight in there, so it may not be the best design. Speaking of the gas bottle, the old one I've got has got the old POL or Type 21 type connector, and this has got the new standard that's used in Australia, which is the PCC 27 fitting. So I do need to go and swap out my old empty gas bottle for a new one. And while I'm there, I've also got to pick up the cover for this that I ordered, so that came separately. All right, so I've picked up a new gas bottle with the correct LCC 27 fitting. That's the fitting with the thread on the outside. And the new gas bottle also didn't fit into the spot under the barbecue, but what I did was take the screw and washer out of the locking mechanism that's in the barbecue there to hold the gas bottle in. And after I did that, the bottle slotted straight down in, and you still can tighten it into place if you want to. I also picked up the cover, and that fits the barbecue nicely, and it's nice to have that to fit perfectly over the barbecue. So now it's time to clean it up and season it before we get cooking. So according to Char-Griller, the first thing you want to do is clean the surface down with some dish detergent and clean water. So with that clean, I'm now going to fire up the burners and just get rid of any of that moisture that was on there before I season it. So it's been about 10 to 15 minutes now. That's really hot, and you can see it sort of changed color a little bit. Now I'm going to season it with some oil. So I'm using avocado oil because it's got a really high smoke point and it's also got a neutral flavor. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing and then let that smoke off. So according to the video that Char-Griller have on how to season these, you want to let that completely smoke off. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes and then repeat that process between 3 and 5 times. So that first coat's done now. And what this seasoning process does, it polymerizes the oil and it bonds to the iron. And that has two benefits. Firstly, it's going to protect the iron from rusting. And secondly, it's going to create a really nice non-stick surface for cooking on. I'm also just making sure to get the sides and the back so that we're fully protecting this top. You can see that's already really starting to change color and go quite dark. It definitely seems to be hotter at the back though. This front section doesn't look like it's getting as hot. All right, well this surface is looking really good now. I think we can start cooking. I'm going to throw some onions on and just a couple of porterhouse steaks to get started, test it out. Storage shelves on the side are quite spacious, which is nice. So there on, I can just turn that down a bit now. Got 4 different zones of heat I can work with. Nice sort of crust on those steaks. Quite a bit of temp in that hot plate. Well, those steaks are looking pretty good. Got a nice char on the outside, and so far, first impressions of cooking on here are good. There's a lot of space, the temperature control's good. But I think over the next little while, I'm just going to cook a whole bunch of different things because this grill has got a lot of versatility, and I'll report back with how it's going.
Poor boy from the backwoods, thought I never would find my way. Sweet girl, straight from downtown, where I was just another face. They said that we should steer clear of each other. Matches and gasoline, nothing but trouble. Said we'd never make it, but you ain't seen nothing yet. We're just getting started.
Well, I've been putting the barbecue through its paces the past couple of weeks, cooking a variety of different things, and I have to say I'm impressed. Cooking on it is excellent, plenty of space, and the consistency across the griddle as well is really good. With the griddle seasoned properly as well, I found it to be generally pretty non-stick, so most things will just come straight off the surface when you're cooking it. If you're cooking something like bacon or something with cheese in it, it does tend to leave a little bit of a residue, but it hasn't been a massive issue and it does come off pretty easily. I mentioned versatility and space, and these are probably my favorite things about the barbecue. I've been cooking a huge variety of things, from pancakes to burgers, breakfast spreads, and that's probably my favorite thing about it. One of my favorite things to actually cook on here is pancakes, because I can cook all of them at once instead of one or two at a time in a pan in the kitchen. Speaking of space, I've really appreciated how much space there is on the side tables. I've often found that I've had both sides fully loaded up with food prepped, ready to go on the griddle. And initially I actually thought the tool holders and magnetic strip and everything was a little bit of a gimmick, but with everything loaded up and stuff on the grill, I actually did put those to use more than I thought I was going to. In terms of cleanup, this has been super easy, and I think a big part of that is having the surface seasoned properly. But most of the time it's just a matter of scraping any residual stuff down to the hole where the grease trap is. Occasionally, if I've been cooking something like bacon or cheese that leaves a bit of a residue, I've found the best way to get it clean is to put some water on there while the surface is still hot, and then just scrape that away, and then just give it a quick spray down with some avocado oil and a quick wipe, and it's ready to go next time. The grease cup that they've designed for this is definitely the easiest system I've used on a barbecue. Often the grease catch trays are up and under the barbecue and a little bit awkward to get out, but with this one, super easy to grab the cup out and empty it and put it back in. One of the things I was worried about going with a barbecue of this style with the big griddle and the shallow lid, I guess, was not having that rack above the cooking surface to put any food that you've already cooked up there to keep warm. But that hasn't been an issue, and that's probably for two reasons. So firstly, there's just so much space on here that if you are catering, you can probably just cook everything all at once. And if you are doing batch cooking, or you need to put something aside, because you've got the different zones in the big area, you can just turn some of the burners down to low and push that food over to the side, and it'll stay warm without continuing to cook it. In terms of downsides, I don't have any major ones, but I will point out a couple of little ones. So the first one I noticed was the funnel that goes from the griddle, where the hole is that goes down to the grease cup. That was sitting kind of flush with the hole, and so some grease was going down the front side of that funnel. I think I've managed to move the position of that, so I've stopped that, but a little bit annoying, and I'm not sure why it's been designed to allow that as a possible outcome. Another one is I've noticed the front strip along the front of the griddle doesn't quite get as hot, and I did notice that when I was seasoning it. It took a lot longer to darken and season properly. Now, not a massive issue, and it might be an intentional thing to keep a little bit of heat away from the controls at the front. But yeah, not a massive issue, but once you're sort of aware of that little bit being not as hot, you can sort of adjust your cooking around that. But overall, very happy with the barbecue, very happy with how it's been performing, the variety of stuff I can cook, and I think the real question remaining is, how is this going to stand up to the test of time?